So now we come to what looks like the last part of writing a gamebook, the final numbering of the entries or paragraphs. You're going to have to get yourself a big stack of index cards for this. You don't actually need index cards as such, but cards of some sort that you can write on unneeded. At a pinch you could use paper, but as you'll be shuffling these, paper will be a real pain in the butt. Blank cards are simply easier to use. You'll need 1 card per entry. Write a number on each card in the corner. These will not be the final entry number in your gamebook. Add a number to each card and ensure the number matches a reference number next to each entry that you've written. Once you've numbered every card, you're ready to move to the next phase. With luck, your opening entry was numbered 1 and your final entry was 400. Set these 2 cards aside. These will only be referenced again at the end of the process. Now we start shuffling the cards. This is the start of the process of randomizing the entries in the final gamebook. A good way of ensuring you get a good mix is to start dealing into 7 piles. Keep dealing until all the cards are in the 7 piles. Now simply pick up each pile individually and shuffle it. Once you've done that, stack all 7 decks into one big pile. And now the real work begins. Be very physically careful from here on, as you don't want to knock over this stack of cards. Work your way through the deck, using the number in the top left of the card to reference the entry in your text. Now write on the right-hand side of the card the number of the entry that this entry leads to. If the entry leads to multiple entries, then add all of the linked numbers onto the card. Once you've numbered all of the cards, you need to work your way through all of the cards in order. The purpose here is to ensure that no one card, aka an entry, is adjacent to one of the entries that it links to. If you do that, wandering eyes while reading your book are going to cheat themselves, and they won't thank you for it. In this case, you can see that entry 2 links to 4 and 11, and that the next card in the stack is not either of those. So further down the stack, you can see we've found a problem. Entry 106 links to entry 234, and they're adjacent. To solve this issue, we have to move entry 234. I suggest you move it further down the stack, that is, further to the back of the pile. By moving it further down the stack, you'll be working your way back towards it, and will be able to reassess it later on. If you have to move it towards the top of the stack, then you're going to have to make a further pass through the stack to make sure you haven't accidentally created another clash. Now comes the fun part. You get to add the final entry numbers to the cards. You've set aside the first and last cards. Those will be numbers 1 and 400. Work your way through the stack from top to bottom again, writing in sequence numbers from 2 through to 399. All of your entries now have an associated final number. Transfer that number into your text. You'll also have to look up each of the entries that this entry links to in the deck of cards to find out the final entry number for those, and write them onto your links. And you're done, as far as constructing the gamebook goes. You've still got more proofing to do on the final text, probably at least 2 more passes of it, including one just to check that the linkages between the paragraphs is still working. And then you're done. Really, done.